Okay, picture this. It is 1991.
Mm-hmm.
You're standing on a subway platform in Italy.
Okay.
It's the middle of summer. The air is thick, with humidity and cigarette smoke. And the trains are just screeching into the station.
I could feel that.
And you are just 18 years old. You're broke. You're hungry.
Right.
You're thousands of miles from home, trying to make it as a model in a country where you don't even speak the language.
That's a terrifying, but also kind of exhilarating moment in life. You're on the edge of everything.
Exactly. And in all that chaos, you lock eyes with someone who is in the exact same boat.
Oh.
He's young, he's scrambling for work, just trying to build a life without starving.
Yeah.
There is this instant spark. It's electric.
The kind of connection that usually starts a movie.
Right. But the timing is all wrong.
And this is where the script just flips.
Yeah.
Instead of the big romance taking off, they part ways. It's that classic sliding doors moment.
It is.
One of them goes on to become a household name on American TV. And we were talking Law and Order, Rizzoli, and Isles, just the absolute queen of procedural drama.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one, he kind of disappears into this quiet, artisanal life by the ocean, shaping surfboards.
And for 35 years, that was it. Just two separate
Love
lives.
running parallel, never touching.
Until now, because it is February 2026, and the secret is finally out.
The cameras flashed, the crowd froze.
And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
There's a story about fate and patience and how life sometimes just circles all the way back to where it started.
Welcome to StarScope Report. Today, we are digging into the absolute biggest stories shaking up the entertainment world right now.
We are talking about a cinematic romance that took 3 decades to even launch.
The massive return of the kings of K-pop.
And a really funny, very rare glimpse into the life of a British TV favorite.
And if you look closely at all these stories, there's this thread connecting them all.
Yeah, it's this idea of timing. When is the right time to reveal a 35-year-old secret?
When is the right time to make a comeback?
And when is the right time to share your private life with the entire world?
That is the key question. And we have to start with the story that is just dominating the headlines. Angie Harmon.
Yes.
Law and Order star. She just dropped a bombshell on Valentine's Day that has everyone reevaluating their own past relationships.
This is so fascinating because Angie Harmon is someone who, she manages to be very famous, but also pretty private.
Until she isn't.
Exactly.
Right.
And this week, she revealed she's in a relationship with a man named Tony Floyd. But this is not a new fling.
Not at all. This is a relationship with a 35-year backstory.
Let's unpack this a little.
We have to, because the psychology here is actually really profound. So they met back in 1991.
In Italy. Both models.
Right. And Tony Floyd, who is now this, rugged artist and photographer, he posted this tribute where he described them as just two kids scrambling for work.
That context is so important. They weren't stars.
No.
They were just struggling teenagers. Floyd actually admitted in his post that back then, when they eventually moved to L.A. in their 20s, he said, and I'm quoting, "You were always better than me."
Wow.
He meant at acting.
That is brutally honest. But it speaks to why their paths split. It's what they call a divergent path in career development.
Totally. She skyrocketed. She gets Baywatch nights, then the huge break with Law and Order. She becomes this, symbol of authority and poise on screen.
While he realizes the Hollywood rat race just isn't for him.
Right. He moves to Costa Mesa to shape surfboards. But I want to pause on that detail for a second.
Okay.
Because shaping surfboards sounds so simple. But what he actually does is highly technical.
Oh, really? I just pictured him, sanding some foam on a beach.
No, it's much more specific. He specializes in speed shapes.
Speed shapes?
Yeah. For anyone listening who isn't a surf nerd, a speed shape is a specific kind of sculptural form they use to test hydrodynamics and aesthetics.
So it's like engineering.
It requires an immense amount of patience. I mean, you're sanding down millimeters of foam to get the flow of water just perfect.
Yeah.
It's this meditative, solitary, really high-skill craft.
I love that contrast. She's on a red carpet with flashing lights and an 80-person crew.
And he's in a workshop, covered in sawdust, obsessed with millimeters.
It's the total antithesis of the fast-paced TV world she was in.
Exactly, which creates such a fascinating dynamic for their reunion.
Yeah.
But you really can't understand the weight of this without looking at the Jason Sehorn era.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you were watching TV in the early 2000s, this was the pop culture moment.
I still remember where I was. March 2000, Angie goes on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Mm-hmm.
She's telling Jay, I don't talk about my personal life. She's being very professional. And then out comes Jason Sehorn.
The NFL superstar.
He gets on one knee, live on air.
It was the ultimate public spectacle,
Mm.
a performative high, and they were the it couple.
For sure. Married in 2001, 3 daughters. But the reports from that time all point out that the marriage ended in 2014 largely because of logistics.
Right, the schedule. She was filming Rizzoli and Isles,
Mm.
which meant being in L.A. or Boston.
And he was working somewhere else. It was a relationship defined by distance and just the grind of 2 huge careers clashing.
And then she had that engagement to Greg Vaughn from Days of Our Lives, which ended really quietly in 2021.
Right.
So she's had these high-profile, sort of high-voltage relationships. But this new reveal with Tony Floyd, it just feels different.
It feels quieter, more grounded.
Yeah.
On Valentine's Day, he posts this photo and says, "Now the timing is right. Now is our time, my love." And he calls her the same kind, loving, breathtaking, passionate fighter he met on that subway platform.
That is the part that gets me. He knew her before the fame.
Yes.
He knows the 18-year-old Angie, not just Assistant District Attorney Abby Carmichael.
There has to be some psychology behind why these reunions work, right? We're seeing it with Ben Affleck and J-Lo, and now this.
Oh, there is. Dr. Nancy Kalish did this famous research on rekindled romances. She found that when people reunite with a lost love from their youth, after like 5 or more years apart, the success rate is over 70%.
No way. That high.
It is incredibly high.
Yeah.
The theory is that you formed your identity with that person. So there's a psychological safety in being with someone who knew you when you were a nobody.
You don't have to wonder if they like you for your fame or your money.
Exactly. He was there when they were both starving in Italy.
That makes total sense. You skip the whole getting to know you phase and go straight to the I know who you really are phase.
And it fits the full circle narrative Angie seems to be living. The sources mentioned she's also talking about revisiting her Law & Order character, Abby Carmichael.
That's right.
So it feels like she's in this season of returning to her roots, both professionally and personally.
It's a reunion that took decades, and honestly, it gives a little hope to anyone who thinks the one that got away is gone forever.
Sometimes they're just shaping speed shapes in Costa Mesa, waiting for the timing to be right.
Hopefully without the 35-year wait, but yes.
Ideally.
But speaking of reunions that people have been waiting for, our next story is about a reunion that millions of fans have been waiting 3 years for. And unlike Angie and Tony, this one involves a raffle system that is stressing everybody out.
It is a really high-stakes situation.
Coming up, the biggest band in the world is back from the military, but why are fans accusing their management of creating a Hunger Games situation for tickets? That drama is next.
We need to talk about BTS.
We really do, because if you follow music, or just the internet, you know that BTS has been on hiatus.
Yeah, well, the members completed their mandatory military service in South Korea.
Which is a huge deal, culturally and economically. This is their first group project in 3 years, and they're coming back with a new album.
It's called Arang, and it drops March 20, 2026.
Arang. Now, you did some digging on this title. It's not just some cool-sounding word they picked.
No, this is a very specific, very heavy cultural choice. Arang is a Korean folk song. It's often considered the unofficial anthem of Korea.
Yeah.
It's on the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage list.
Yeah.
But the lyrics are key here. It's a song about separation and longing and the journey of crossing a mountain pass to find your love or your home.
That is suspiciously perfect branding.
It's genius, isn't it? They've been away. The fans, the army have been waiting. So naming the comeback album, Arang, is basically telling the fans, we have crossed the mountain pass of military service and we are back home.
And the members, Suga and RM, they're teasing that this is going to be a mature sound. They've got producers like Max Martin and John Bellion involved, which usually means massive radio-friendly pop hits.
Right. But there is a shift in tone. They're the same kids they were 3 years ago. They've been through this rigorous military training. They've aged.
That's true.
R.E.M. even said in an interview that they want to show a more diverse side of their music. They aren't really chasing the trends anymore. They're setting the tone.
Okay, so the music sounds great. The comeback concert sounds amazing. It's at Gwanghwamun Square in Seoul on March 21st.
Iconic location.
And the best news is it's going to be streamed globally on Netflix.
Which is a brilliant move for accessibility. It democratizes the experience for fans in Brazil or the UK or the US.
However, for the fans who actually want to be there in person,
it's a nightmare.
Total nightmare.
This is where the controversy kicks in. Gwanghwamun Square is a massive public space. It's like, Times Square meets the National Mall.
It's huge.
But their management announced that there are only 2,000 standing spots available for the actual concert area.
2,000 for BTS.
I know.
They sell out SoFi Stadium in LA, which holds 70,000 people. 2,000 is a birthday party for them.
Exactly. And to get one of those 2,000 spots, you have to buy the album and enter a raffle.
So it's literally a lottery.
A lottery with just astronomically low odds. And the fans are furious. They're calling it the Hunger Games.
I can see why.
You're seeing quotes on social media like, "Please put ARMY before the general public," and asking why the number is so pitifully low for a global comeback.
It does seem incredibly small. Is it like artificial scarcity to drive hype? Or is there a real reason?
I think it's largely logistics and security. Gwanghwamun is an open public square with heavy traffic right in the center of Seoul. It's not a contained stadium.
Right.
So controlling a crowd of 50,000 passionate fans in an open street is a security nightmare. By capping it at 2,000 official spots, they make it manageable.
But it creates this intense fervor. If you are one of those 2,000, that is a golden ticket.
Oh, yeah. There's also this interesting shift in their attitude about success. You mentioned RM talking about the Grammys.
Right. Before the hiatus, winning a Grammy seemed like this massive, singular goal for them. They really wanted that American validation.
He was the Holy Grail. But RM's recent comments are very telling. He said, "We don't want to be desperately eager." He basically said, if it happens, great. If not, okay.
That sounds like someone who has gained some serious perspective.
Military service often does that. It resets your priorities.
Yeah.
But also, if you look at the market data, they're the biggest band in the world. They don't need a trophy to prove it anymore.
They've transcended the need for industry awards.
They're focused on the legacy, hence Erang.
It's a fascinating evolution. They went away as idols, and they're coming back as artists who just seem a lot more comfortable in their own skin.
And that maturity connects right back to the album title. Erang isn't bubblegum pop. It signals that this next era of BPS is going to be deeper, more historic.
I cannot wait to hear it. But from global superstars to a tiny, adorable superstar in the making, we are checking in on a British TV favorite who has a hilarious message for her haters.
This next story is a great palate cleanser.
And if you love getting the full story behind the headlines, by the way, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have more deep dives into the lives of your favorite stars coming up every week.
So let's talk Michelle Keegan.
Yes, Michelle Keegan. If you follow British TV, you love her. She and her husband, Mark Wright, who is a reality TV legend in his own right, they're a massive power couple in the UK.
But they are also notoriously private about their daughter, Palma.
And this is a really interesting contrast to the, Kardashian-style oversharing we see, where the kid has an Instagram account before they're even born.
Right. Palma was born in March 2025, and Michelle and Mark have made a very conscious choice. No faces on social media.
Which I respect, but they still give the fans just enough to keep them engaged. And on February 6th, just a few days ago, Michelle posted this photo that just cracked me up.
The ponytail photo.
The ponytail photo. Palma is almost 1 year old. She's got this tiny little sprout of blonde hair tied up in a pink bow.
So cute.
And Michelle's caption was, "Haters gonna say it's extensions."
It's so witty. It's self-deprecating. It acknowledges the absurdity of beauty standards, but, applies it to a baby.
It's so good. But it also highlights this lifestyle they're living. You have the relatable baby's first ponytail moment, but the context, which you dug into, is that they were on holiday in Abu Dhabi.
Right. Staying at a resort that costs £2,000 a night. And that's the tightrope they walk. They share these milestones. Mark Wright posted a photo of Palma crawling on the beach. But they're so careful to keep the camera behind her. They give you the luxury lifestyle and the relatable parenting moment, but they withhold the child's identity.
Mark Wright gave this really emotional interview on Heart Radio recently. He called fatherhood his biggest achievement.
He called Michelle a superhero.
He did.
And that's the piece that makes their privacy strategy work. It's about this parasocial contract. If they were totally silent, people would speculate, or the paparazzi would hunt them even harder.
That's true.
But by sharing the emotions, Mark talking about how much he respects Michelle making jokes about hair extensions, they satisfy the audience's desire for connection without sacrificing their daughter's actual privacy.
It is a masterclass in modern celebrity parenting. It's saying, you can look at our life, you can see the fancy hotel, you can laugh at the ponytail, but you cannot have her face.
Which brings us right back to that idea of timing and control we started with.
It does.
Angie Harmon waited 35 years to reveal her relationship. because the timing was right for her, not for the tabloids.
BTS is controlling their comeback by focusing on their Korean heritage and just ignoring the Grammy pressure.
And Michelle Keegan is controlling exactly how much of her child the world gets to see.
That's the thread, isn't it? In an age where everyone has a camera and a platform, the ultimate power move isn't showing everything.
It's control, controlling when you share, what you share, and who you share it with.
Precisely. In the 2000s, fame was all about exposure. In 2026, status is about curation.
And that's not even the wildest part of celebrity parenting. Stick around for our final thoughts on how stars navigate that privacy line in 2026.
So let's recap what we've learned today.
Okay, we have Angie Harmon proving that love is not a race. You can meet someone on a subway platform at 18, live a whole life, become a star, get married, get divorced.
And then find your way back to that same person when you're 53. And maybe that relationship is even better because of the time apart.
We have BTS proving that the RI will wade through anything, even a 3-year military hiatus. And they're coming back with this message of reunion that's culturally deep, even if the ticket raffle is causing a meltdown.
And we have Michelle Keegan proving you can be one of the most famous women in the UK and still keep your child's face private while making us all laugh on Instagram.
It makes you think. We're constantly told that to be relevant, you have to be everywhere all the time, share everything.
But the people we talked about today are doing the exact opposite.
Angie went quiet for years about her dating life. BTS disappeared into the military. Michelle hides her baby's face. And yet, we're more interested in them than ever.
So here's a question for you to chew on. In an age of absolute oversharing, is the ultimate celebrity status symbol now privacy?
Or are stories like Angie Harmon's 35-year secret the only way to keep the mystery alive in 2026?
I think mystery is the new currency. If you give it all away, there's nothing left to discover.
But if you hold back just enough, 35 years later, people will still be fascinated.
Mystery is the new currency. I love that. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.